And so I want to invite Melissa Allison to the microphone so she can tell you a little bit about this Changemaker Initiative, because it may be a program that you as laity either want to participate in or bring to your church. Melissa.
So in less than 10 minutes, I want to try and help you understand how returning to Christianity, finding Methodism, and being a part of the Changemaker Initiative at Altos United Methodist Church has given me a life and a faith that I have always wanted. I'm a gay woman who fled Christianity in her 30s. 4 years ago, on an Easter morning, I took a risk. I walked onto the campus of Campbell United Methodist Church, where I found myself genuinely welcomed. I heard a sermon that inspired me. And, you know, I still don't remember joining that bell choir, but I did. I wound up going over to Los Altos about a year later. And around there, I'm known as a Changemaker Fellow. In this image, and it's not super obvious, but that's a Bible in the background. Do you see the map? Mm-hmm. What is it in the world that you wish could be better? What is it that you'd really like to change? Those are the kind of questions I was trying to ask myself before I decided to join the Changemaker Initiative. You know, this thing was an experiment that we did. We wanted to see what would happen if we combined the teachings of Jesus as a compassion-driven changemaker with the learned tools and skills of social innovation taught to us by a program called the Shoka. There was an application process, and 25 Changemaker Fellows sort of emerged. We ranged in age from 11 to 74. We committed to a 9-month experience where we gathered together on a regular basis, and each of us took on a project of change that kind of scared us. We formed teams with others in our congregations. We took risks we'd never taken before. And when we fell down, which we did, we helped pick each other up and get started again. We had big dreams and bold ideas. Let me tell you about 3 of them. One of our fellows is trying to unite all the groups across our country that stand against gun violence. She is passionate about ending these deaths that result from mass shootings, and so fed up and tired at organizations that are working at cross purposes to one another. Another fellow is telling stories of homeless youth so that people can make the connection for themselves between runaway kids and the shockingly high percentage of them who are kicked out of their home for being LGBTQ. And then there's Corinne Ostrike, another Changemaker Fellow who approached the work of human trafficking, but with a really different approach. Rather than try and disrupt the logistics of human trafficking, Corinne decided to try and reduce the need for human trafficking by developing a program that built emotionally healthy men. Kind of out of the box, right? Kind of outside of that old thinking that limits what people of faith, people like us, can do to change the world. We learned a lot from our experiment last year. We learned a lot from Ashoka, an organization that's been making change out in the world for a long time. We learned a lot from those of us that went through the initiative. We learned a lot from our church family, who joined us as thought partners and team members and advisors and just fabulous cheerleaders. We learned what becoming a changemaker requires most is your desire to make a difference. Everyone in this room has a desire to make a difference. We think lots of churches in this conference could be doing this same work. We saw impact. I don't mean that every single project blew up and became this amazing success story. Some of them did, and some of them didn't. And some of them shifted directions, and some of them got sidelined because life changed for that fellow. We saw impact because each and every fellow spoke of how his or her compassion had expanded, how their faith had deepened regardless of whether their project went where they thought it would. And because of that impact, we're launching a new cohort of Changemaker Fellows in September. We've developed a curriculum based on our experience with Ashoka that connects the compassion of Jesus with the skills of social change. We call the curriculum RISK, R-I-S-K, based on our tagline, risk something big for something good. We hope participants will be people who have a longing to make a difference in the world, are interested in learning the tools of social change, but maybe don't know quite how to connect those together with their faith. Every fellow will find a project to work on in their family, their church, their workplace, or community. And this idea of people having a project kind of takes them out of this space of just thinking about or dreaming about making change and puts them on the field, in the stadium of the kingdom of God, enabling them to do the exciting and challenging work of actually taking that ball downfield. This is a path of discipleship. It's not the only path. Methodism provides lots of paths for people to go and do good and important work. But it might be a path for you. If you're one of those people that kind of has that constant nudging, that dissatisfaction that comes from seeing a problem over and over again and just not knowing quite how to shift it. If any of this is resonating with you or sounds interesting with you, come. I've got a table outside that middle door and around the corner. I don't know where to call that in the hallway. Come and talk to me. Let's talk about the Changemaker Initiative, and let's see if it might be something that's right for you or for your church.
Thank you.